Hello again, my friends. It's been a while since we've seen each other. I just did my hair. Thank you for noticing. Actually, last time we spoke, we talked about making decisions and guilt associated with not hiding yourself and changing, and yeah, taking responsibility for the way that you show up in the world. And I want to talk about how that can bring about complications with the life that's already going on for you. And yeah, I guess if you always kind of thought about how you want to change your life or be a different person than you are now or do something different than you're doing right now, or I don't know, move to a new place, make new friends, start a new lifestyle, it almost always like seems both at the same time impossible and easy in your head. And then when you go ahead and take the first action, you're kind of met with resistance, right? Either there's 10 million steps that you feel like you have to think through in order to make an inch of progress in the direction of, let's say, becoming a fashion designer or uh, a music star or a famous architect or a successful person in general. And I think one thing we can do is kind of have a perspective shift on what those hurdles or obstacles look like or what those obstacles like mean to you. Because we got to understand that in order to change and become these people or enact these changes in our lives, they need to be like accepted in your mind that they're possible. You know, if you've been going one route, let's say you're a server at a restaurant, you've been doing that for years, you bounce from restaurant to restaurant, right? And then all of a sudden you decide, okay, I want to pick up a guitar and be a rock star, right? A lot of advice would say, like, just live in that identity, just completely change how you present yourself in the world right away and move into that identity. And it's like the resistance that you're feeling is like, wait a minute, there's a physical world around me that shows me that I'm not a rock star, you know? So how do you like bridge the gap from like where you are now to the dream that you have? And first off, it's accepting that it's okay. That it's okay that number one is not here right now, right? Number two, accepting that it's okay for you to change. You're not betraying anyone by being yourself. You're not lying to anyone by being yourself and wanting to make these changes. You kind of have to catch yourself in the loop of how your mind tells you that you are not capable, whether that be through putting the obstacle outside of you or whether or not like the obstacle outside of you being that there's people in your way or money is in the way or resources, right? That's one thing. Another thing is your internal state of mind, how you look towards yourself reflectively, right? And that can also be outward as well. Like you base your own judgments based on the opinions of others towards you. And you gotta be able to accept that those things are not as true as you being a rock star right now. They're like the same type of lie. You know what I'm saying? You could just as easily walk into a room at like you could literally just walk into your shift at the restaurant as your rock star, right? Or get up on the stage as a rock star and be like, I don't deserve this because I'm a server. I'm supposed to be giving food to people. I'm supposed to be serving people in a way that's not using my creative talent or whatever. You know what I mean? That's like the same lie. And what lies between those two things is the feeling that you're trying to achieve, right? And if you kind of envision that feeling as being as like freedom and acceptance and love and expression and light vibes, light emotions and joy and happiness and excitement and all that stuff, you can bridge the gap between where you are now and where you will be by having and carrying that feeling with you the whole time. You don't need permission. There's no conditions that you need in order to feel that. And I'm not asking you to deny or ignore the circumstances that you're in right now or the life that you've already built. I'm asking you to accept it, the life that you've already built, and accept the life that you will build at the same time. You're big enough to do that. And be accepting and compassionate and caring enough for your own heart and your own mind, just as you would someone that you love, right? Do that for yourself. Speak and feed life into yourself, you know? I think I think our brains are really, really like glorified sometimes as being the only thing that's capable of making our dreams come true. It's an organ. It's an organ. Just like your skin, just like your muscles, just like your intestines, your eyeballs. It senses, it receives information, it constricts, it expands, it creates paradigms, it builds your life, like all of that. It's all dependent on what kind of mental nourishment you're giving it, right? You don't necessarily need to be reading a bunch of books, or if you're not like a reader, I get it, but like you don't necessarily need to be like educating yourself on like higher concepts in order to feel happy with your life. If you can recognize the things that make you feel joy, right? And not just joy, but also peace and contentment and acceptance and compassion. If you could recognize the things that let you feel that, you can cultivate that more frequently. All you got to do is just be like, I accept the fact that I can do that. I accept the fact that I can do that. And yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way to bridge the gap between the life that you're in right now and the life that you want right now. And they're not two separate things, they're the same life. It's just about accepting that this can be as well. This might not be over yet. This part of your life where you recognize that the way you've been living is not the way you want to keep living. It doesn't have to stay that way, and you know that. It doesn't have to be a hard thing to let go of either. It doesn't mean that your whole life is just going to suddenly crumble and fall apart. Like I've been through massive changes in my life, and I could have seen them and been like, these things happened to me. These things mean that I'm a person that doesn't deserve love, or can't have stability, or can't have a creative life, or can't have meaningful conversations, or can't live in a state of mind that is aligned with what I believe in. What the fuck? This just happened, and then my mind automatically made all that shit up. Dude, it's an organ. It's gonna happen automatically. It's just you gotta be able to like observe it, you know, observe it and accept it. And then realize that you can accept that it happened and that this is what you thought or that you're currently thinking as well. And then be like, okay, I think that right now. What do I want to think instead? Like, what do I think is the better way of moving forward mentally? Like, at least as far as your perspective in life. And you can accept that that's possible. You can accept that, hey, you know what? I don't know what that looks like right now. I don't know what it looks like to be living in a life of like in alignment with what my beliefs are. I don't know what that looks like yet. I don't know how my mind thinks of that yet. But I accept that I can change that way. I say accept in lieu of belief, like because sometimes belief can be a word that triggers feelings of mistrust, of fantasy, right? That's why I say accept. And this is just something that like has been percolating in my mind for a little while, at least since the last time we spoke, because I'm ready. Like I'm ready too. The world is ready for the way that things ought to be, the way that things should change. You know, and we're not hiding anymore, but we are coming to terms and reconciling and accepting that yes, this is true. This was true. What else can be true? What else can I accept into truth? Which is my life. My life on earth is true. I'm alive. Everything that happens in between it, the way that I live it, the people that I connect with, the things that I believe, the way that life is formed around me is true. And I can accept it for what it is or what it can be. And I can accept that I don't know what my role is yet, but I can accept that I will find it. And I can accept that like I will change and that I will help other people, that I will inspire other people, and that I will move through this life with my creative passion. And I can accept that I'll find everything that I need in my life. And I think you can do that too, honestly. You know? Sometimes you just gotta be accepting, be gentle with yourself, honestly. You don't need to like conquer and steal and defend against yourself and prove a point to yourself and other people. What are you doing? Really? If you were to look at yourself like, look, this is Hector, right? He's alive. He's doing his thing. This is God's plans. This is the consciousness right here. This is the being above me watching me. He's watching. Like imagine this is you, right? You're watching me. Walk around. Go up to the first person that I see and yell at them. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. Kick up a shitstorm. Do everything that I think makes me feel worthy, right? And then guess what? I don't believe it. Like, because doing all that shit doesn't mean that I cultivated it inside myself. Like, the ink is not spilling out of the pen yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not until that, like, I open up and I accept the fact that I can change, I can rewrite, that the person above gets to see, like, okay, this dude is actually writing shit out. He's actually making something for other people to see, not just walking around making messes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was like the silliest analogy ever. But yeah, like if you were watching you do this, like would you really? If you knew that you could be like, you could be living life a totally different way. Like if you knew that you could literally do anything else other than try and like prove and defend and conquer other people, and that like you knew that like you would still feel bad after, you would still feel empty, or you would still be looking for more after the fact, would you even like do that? And here's the thing, like even if you are moving in life that way, you're gonna feel satisfaction at some point. You're gonna feel gratitude and glory, or I mean, maybe you won't feel real like gratitude or anything like that, but like you'll feel glory, you'll feel pride, you'll feel a sense of strength and identity, but for like moments at a time, like nothing like really lasting, you know? Like, and then what? Like you do all that stuff and then you're like, okay, I'll die now. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? I don't know, bro. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to accept the fact that you're not where you are, where you want to be, but you're also not where you were. You can accept that things can change, and you can accept that it is your responsibility. You can accept that it is your responsibility to accept yourself and accept your life circumstances and accept the way that they can change in your life as well. Anyway, I love you. I'm just gonna post this as it is, no editing. All right, bye.